world. Welcome to the Life Malcolm Show. I am your host, Life Malcolm, right here on In Touch News, where everybody is a star, and the biggest star is you. Let me go ahead and get my, usual expressions of gratitude on the record. I really want to express my deep and profound appreciation for DJ CEO and Mrs. DJ CEO, aka Tampa Bay Tammy, for making this platform, In Touch News, available for programs like the Life Malcolm Show and others. I'm so delighted that I'm able to come through every week and share some thoughts and encouraging words sometimes, and hopefully informative words all the time. I really appreciate the fact that although I only get I have like a cussing budget. I can only get a few cuss words in a month, but other than that restriction, I'm able to come up in here and just kind of tell it like it is, tell you the truth. And I really appreciate that the opportunity to come through on In Touch News and kick the truth to you. So one time for DJ CEO and Mrs. DJ CEO, aka Tampa Bay Tammy, for making this happen. Also, I usually shout out my homegirl DJ ANA, but I don't even see it right now. So I mean, in fond memories of times past, I give her an honorary shout out. But right now, handling the business on the boards, the one and only Bezel, man. Really want to appreciate him for being up in here doing his thing. Let me give out the phone number. You can call. By the way, if you're watching, and I hope you are, that means that you already know about at least one of our platforms, be it Facebook.com, the In Touch News page, or YouTube, the In Touch News channel, or you can go to www.intouchnews.com and check us out there. So if you're locked in on one of those platforms, you can leave comments, say something about the show if you like, and I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I promise I will. But if you call, I answer right away. The number is 813-444-9588. You should call 813-444-9588. All right, so I got to be honest with you. I'm tired. Been a long week. Long but happy, full of festive week. And so tired. Didn't really plan a whole show or anything like that, but we just gonna kick it, man. Just talk a little bit. Been some things on my mind for a while, and I just wanna talk about some of those things with you. I'll start by saying, we usually on the Life Malcolm Show do something a little light, then we get to the heavy. The heavy, I'm sure, is going to be a hodgepodge of heaviness because there's a lot of heavy stuff going on. But listen, today, instead of our typical word from the word, we're going to take a word from the Burning Spear newspaper. As a matter of fact, a lot of words. Might spend the better part of the next half hour just going through some key terms in African internationalism. The Burning Spear lays out so that you can talk like an African internationalist. A lot of us, as you know, talk like our colonizer. When we open our mouth, the colonizer comes out. We African internationalists in this country and all around the world want to help you change that. We want to help you sound like your African self when you talk. When you open your mouth, we want you to sound like an intelligent African, not an African who says stupid stuff like George Washington is my forefather, and that kind of we need the police. Oh yeah, let me tell you about that. So the other day, I told you I was going to tell you about this, and what my cousin said about me, notwithstanding. By the way, she never did call me despite my strong urging that she validate her allegations in social media that I'm disrespectful to my elders, called her up on, called her out on the IG. Say, point to the facts. Show some proof of this awful allegation that I'm disrespectful to my elders, and tried to, goad her into calling. Nothing like that. Would not clean her face with me about that. But I know it's a vicious lie. I'm not disrespectful to anybody, really. I'm gonna tell the truth, keep everybody in the proper context, and if someone feels disrespected by that, well, they might do well checking the mirror. But that whole idea that I'm disrespectful to my elders notwithstanding, I am not going to disrespect my elders. But I'm going to tell you, the other day, I might have made an error calling in to this show to speak about this awful thing that the Tampa Police Department has this counterinsurgent type war, this low intensity war, not necessarily counterinsurgent, but this low intensity type war that the Tampa Police Department waged on African people by way of attacking their housing. Touched on it a little bit, I believe, if not last week, the week prior. I think it was last week we talked about it just a little bit, just briefly. And so what Tampa Police would do, let me kind of back up a little bit. So Tampa Police, the Tampa Police Department, not just individual police. This was the department under the leadership of a woman police chief. It just depends on who you ask, I guess. I mean, if you ask, I don't know how it go. But listen, the one that was the police chief before the one we got before the one we just got. Anyway, that police chief instituted, got in bed, got in a relationship with landlords in the city. And in this incestuous type relationship which they were involved, they birthed a plan they conceived and birthed a plan to kick people out their houses and out their residence, make life hard on people for whom life is already hard. The biggest participants in the program with the police were two predominantly populated two predominantly African populated housing facilities. One was the Tampa Housing Authority, and the other, according to this one cop that was on the show I called into, regrettably, the Tampa Park housing. Predominantly Africans in these joints. And so what the police and these landlords, if you want to call them that, decided to do, the plan they birthed was if a resident got a charge, not even got a conviction, but just got arrested by the police, which by the way ain't hard when you are African in the United States. Damn sure ain't hard if you are African in Tampa. In my neighborhood, I remember I counted once. This was a few years ago. I kept tabs. I could not go 3 miles or 8 minutes without seeing the police. No, just couldn't go 3 miles in any, no matter where you are in East Tampa. This is where I live. You can start at home or start from the destination you left your home to go to, in between, what have you. If you move 3 miles one way or the other, you're going to see the police, sometimes more than one. If you just sit still, don't go nowhere, wait about 8 minutes, you're going to see the police. That's the heavy-handed police occupation Africans live in in Tampa. And I'm not saying I say East Tampa because that's where I live, but I'm sure it's that way all over Tampa because I hear the constant complaints of African people who feel the pressure of the lockdown and the over policing and the police containment that we live under every damn day. So it's not hard to get arrested when the police is always watching you, waiting to arrest you or pull you over if your tag light on your bicycle tag is out, if you don't have a light on your bicycle, or if you're riding the wrong way, it got one way, they'll pull you over for walking. One time, this police, George Collar, like dog collar, except it's spelled Coller, dog collar, pulled me over for walking down the street in my neighborhood where I, at that point, had lived for nearly 16, 17 years. He stopped me a mile away from the house, telling me I look odd. In my neighborhood, I look odd where I live. And that's why he pulled me over, called three other cops to come surround me and try to jam me up. And had I been like some of my other brothers or sisters who out here just trying to hustle, make a living, what have you, or trying to escape the colonial oppression through, getting high, having a little sip, then, they would have found something on me, but that ain't the way to escape colonial oppression, getting high and having a little nip. No, the way to escape colonial oppression is to fight it, stamp it out, crush it, overturn it, kill it. That's the way you get rid of oppression. And so I know I'm gonna have to go to break. That means I'm gonna have to come back and continue this. But just the whole idea that when you are African in this city, it's not hard to get arrested. As a matter of fact, in Florida, they got this thing called with this slogan that say, you come here on vacation, you leave here on probation. And if you ask me, I believe the state, the people who prosecute you, arrest you and prosecute you, probably made the slogan. If they didn't make it, they're damn so responsible for it, and they repeat it with such pride every time I hear them say it. So yeah, that's the misery under which we live in. So in this colonial kind of condition, the police and these landlords done hooked up, then got in bed together and decided that when the police pull somebody over or jam somebody up and charge them with a crime, misdemeanor, nonviolent crime, what have you, the police will report that crime, that arrest, that allegation to the landlord, and the landlord oftentimes in turn would use that allegation, arrest, that charge as an excuse to kick the person out their house, kick them out their home. And so this writer, Christopher O'Donnell, for the Tampa Times, wrote a story about it, uncovered it. They've been working on it, for what I understand, for a better part of a year, and maybe more than a year. And so he put together this story divulging these tactics that displaced so many people from their homes for little or no reason at all. I mean, imagine that. In this country, where we're told stuff like innocent until proven guilty, that this wonderful country of freedom and justice we grew up in, we live in, this wonderful place of freedom and justice, this great example of jurisprudence and the rule of law and freedom and protections of freedom and what have you. This one right here is the one that if you just get arrested, you don't have your presumption of innocence when it comes to the Tampa Police Department and the landlords. Gotta watch the clock. Seconds ticking down. All right, so I'm gonna holler back at y'all after the break. Put a pin in what we're talking about though, because I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that up, and then we're gonna get to some other stuff, and then we get to some more stuff. But yeah, hey, look, I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is Life Malcolm, so right here on In Touch News. I'm your host, Life Malcolm, and I see you on the other side of the break. Come on back.
so believe we 100. Dial 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay, call Ricky, he coming. He taking kids state of Florida, grab a pen or something. Dial 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky. It's a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and getting you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
Hi, this is Angela Birdsong, and during the week, I'm affectionately known as the Medicare Lady. Do not try to navigate Medicare without me. Please call me at 813-476-4837. I also do life insurance, and I will help people who are Medicare, Medicaid. Once again, 813-476-4837. 4837.
All right. Welcome back, world. So, let me finish. Let me go ahead and try to wrap this up, man. I was on this. I called into this radio show because this woman got the police after Chris O'Donnell exposed this nasty plan. The Tampa police and some landlords in Tampa put together to make life harder for people for whom life is already so damn hard. This lady who has a radio show called the police, some Negro police too, called the Negro police to come on the show to try to validate the program. And the Negro say something like, well, we didn't have nothing to do with kicking the people out. We just, all we did was just tell the landlord about the crime. Now, if they kicked them out, now that was just on them. That wasn't, we didn't tell them to kick nobody out. Knowing damn well when they told the landlord that the person was charged with a crime, the landlord was going to use, in many, if not most instances, was going to use that information as a reason to put the pinch on the person. So I called in to just talk about how, And so the woman who hosts the radio show, her validation for bringing the Negro police on and defending the program, the nasty program, the oppressive program of the police, her justification for bringing him on and validating and defending the program right along with him was, well, you know, we have so many killings in our neighborhood and so much gun violence and so much crime, and people can't even feel safe in their own neighborhood no more. The grandmama can't walk outside, and the children can't even play, and all this and all that. And listen, I took umbrage to that. I don't care what kind of contradictions we have as African people among ourselves. The colonizer ain't never the solution. Calling the colonizer to come solve our problem ain't never the solution. Having a colonizer in our business ain't never better than us handling our business ourselves, even if we handle our business in a messed up way. And African internationalism teaches me that. Teaches us that the African internationalism ain't just for me, it's for everybody. You know, you just gotta seek yourself out. And caller, go ahead, come on in. I'm gonna finish saying this and I'm gonna take your call. And so I called in and said pretty much what I just said to you, how that's backwards. You know, we can't defend the police when they doing all kind of stuff to us. And so this Negro woman who hosts this show, after I hang up, she cut me off. And then after she cut me off, she gonna get on the program, come behind me and say, I happen to know for a fact that gentleman's son was killed by an African American. like, what the hell? What my son? What these bandits murdering my son got to do with this colonial situation with somebody? That's how backwards some of us are in our thinking. Listen, hell, during the time of chattel slavery, Africa, we did all kinds of horrible things to each other on the plantation. Sometimes we got mad at each other and maybe bust each other upside the head with a rock or a shovel or whatever, but that wasn't the major contradiction. Wasn't nobody stupid enough to say, yeah, let's keep slavery, because if we don't keep slavery, we're going to keep hitting each other in the head with a rock. I mean, how stupid and how backwards is that? But I couldn't say that to that Negro woman, so I wanted to jump on my program where can't nobody cut me off except DJ CEO and Mrs. DJ CEO, and they've been kind enough not to do that. So yeah, all right, caller, come in. What you got to say, caller?
Hello.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes. Okay, this is Alvaro. Is this me?
Yeah, Alvaro, it's you.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you for your program, Live. I'm particularly impressed with the fact that you touch on subjects that are critical to the community, but are not touched by anyone else. The subject of the evictions of people for different offenses, including panhandling. I think it's horrible. I think it's I've referred, and I think other people have also, to this mayor as a fascist woman, as a fascist mayor, and some people feel, you're exaggerating. What else can you call this? What else can you call when human beings are being kicked out into the street? There's an article that CL put out, Creative Loafing, touching on this issue, and there's a Yale professor that says, this is what the Nazis did. Dehumanize people, call them weeds, call them whatever, and to justify taking this type of action. So I thank you for touching on the subject, and it hits home.
Man, Alvaro, I really appreciate you listening, number one, and taking the time to call in and share these words. And I appreciate you sharing with the listening audience this article in Creative Loafer, man. Y'all grab that and read, because one thing they can't do is take away knowledge. Not now, because knowledge is accessible and available all around us. So read as much as you can. And Alvaro, I really appreciate you putting us up on that, because I didn't know about that article. I'm going to grab it and see what it's got to say.
I appreciate you, and I'm glad we have you out there touching on these things.
Same here, Alvaro. Look forward to the next time we touch hands.
Yes.
All right,
Take
brother.
care.
To be continued.
Thank you.
And so, yeah. I mean, so I'm not making it up. One thing I know, that you don't have to make up nothing on the colonizer. The truth is indicting enough. All you gotta do is tell the truth on them. And so, like Alvaro said, panhandling. They made if you don't know what panhandling is, it's when one stands out generally in a bustling thoroughfare, whether it's a shopping plaza, most often in the city of Tampa, especially before they criminalized it at the Tampa City Council meeting a few years back. A person would stand out with a pan. Used to be with a pan, sometimes now a cup, a jar, sometimes a hat, asking for change, asking for $1. And so the Tampa City Police Department, they enforce it, but the Tampa City Council, I happened to be in the meeting the day they made it a crime. They made it a crime for poor people to ask people to help them out with $1 or $2. It wasn't a crime. One day it wasn't a crime, and then after the city council meeting, it's a crime. You can get a ticket for it, and I guess if you do it 2 or 3 times, I forgot what the rules was, but you probably go to jail, knowing this police department in this city. But yeah, so I just want to throw that. Okay, all right. So that's something like the light. I guess that's the light. That's the light part. What else? Oh, so talking to my brother this morning, I think we started talking about how people say George Washington, the forefather, or something. My brother and I, my younger brother, used to call him my little brother, but now he like 6'5", 300 pounds, so I just call him my younger brother. And so younger brother and I spoke quite intensely about the colonial virus and all this stuff that people believe all of a sudden about the virus, about their bodies, about health and nutrition and how to protect themselves from pathogens and what have you. And my brother seemed just quite confused a bit, maybe disgusted even, that people could, at the notion that people could actually believe the stuff that they believe. And I said, well, brother, these people, the colonizers, have been masterful at making us believe whatever they want us to believe. For example, there are people I know, Africans, smart, some of them supposed to be smart too. I mean, like degrees, professionals, and I used to, hold on, DJ cut the music. No. But don't step on my hearing aid. Oh yeah, I know people who, I used to have this thing about degrees until I started getting some. And I think there's something to be said about people who get degrees. It says something about a matter of discipline, and sometimes it might even say something about how much knowledge you have. Thank you, brother. And so I ain't knocking people who have degrees, but it's still, what I've always known is you can have degrees and be still just miss the point of the whole damn world, really, and there are people with degrees and other stuff in their lives that's supposed to offer them some kind of validation as far as some significance as a spokesperson, something like that, who hate the Confederate flag. I see them all the time on Facebook, vilifying the Confederate flag and declaring anybody who holds up the flag or supports the Confederate flag as a racist, as some kind of a white nationalist and extremist and all these kind of things. And out the same mouth on the other side, most Africans got that two-faced, black skin, white man, two-faced. So at the one side of their mouth, they decry the Confederate flag. It's a horrible thing. And then at the other side of their mouth, they pledge allegiance to the American flag. Now, told my brother this morning. The American flag has done more it's done more murder to African people, done more rape, pillage, rained more terror on African people and people around the world than the Confederate flag ever did. If before the Confederate flag existed, the colonizers under the American flag wreaked havoc, rained all kinds of terror and atrocities on African people and people around the world during the time of the Confederate flag, when it was, when the South was whatever it was supposed to be. I don't know how to go. I don't really get into their history like that. And then long after the Confederate flag was, crushed by that sector of the colonized population that didn't like it, the American flag has rained terror, oppression, brutality, just the most types of horrendous stuff. Yeah, man, I don't want to use all my cussing quota. This is my last show this month. Because I can load up. But yeah, the Confederate flag don't have nothing on the American flag when it comes to treating African people or mistreating African people. But some of us believe that the American flag all right and the Confederate flag is bad. And so, yeah, I guess if they can make you believe that, make you believe that Jesus looked like James Bond or something, and what have you. They can make you believe anything they want you to believe about the colonial virus, the colonial vaccine, and like, you know, my favorite one is that they keep telling me some stupid stuff like, well, you used to get a vaccine when you was a kid. How come you won't get this vaccine now? The one that's not safe for kids. Yeah. All right, then. Hey, we'll be back on the other side of the break. And after that, we go on to the Burning Spear newspaper. We finna talk about some words you need to know on the Life Malcolm Show. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecues? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
Hi, this is Pastor John T. Warner, Foundation Fellowship Christian Church. We are super excited. The date has finally arrived this Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Holiday Inn Express off of Bruce B. Downs for our inaugural worship service. A couple of things you might want to know: that we will adhere to all COVID-19 guidelines and masks are required. But we're super excited that you will be joining us. Tell a friend, bring a friend, but most of all, meet us there at 10 a.m. at the Holiday Inn Express off of Bruce B. Downs for Foundation Fellowship Christian Church inaugural worship service. God bless you and look forward to seeing you there.
In Touch Radio, where everybody, and we do mean everybody, is a star. In Touch Radio.
All right. So, welcome back to the Life Malcolm Show right here on In Touch News. I am your host, Life Malcolm. And today, I'm just talking, man, just getting some stuff off my bulletproof vest because been holding it in. Had to, you know, it's been a long journey. And I want to talk about this law school experience for y'all because it was an incredible experience. I didn't want to talk about it, though, until I had secured the bar license, and I don't know, it's as secure as it can be. You know, it's, you know, the there's a scripture in the Bible that says the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, and the Lord ain't the only one that giveth and taketh away. So you got to keep that in mind. There's an African proverb that says, "Do not insult the hunting guide before the sun has set." And we're smart enough not to do that. Everything we put on the head, we do not put on the tongue. Yeah, all right. So enough of the African proverbs for now. But we about to go to the Burning Spear newspaper, and we about to go through some words. Y'all might recall on this show we do some reading. Now the past few weeks, most of the DJ cut the music. I gotta say, yeah, right there. There you go. I gotta say that this month was an incredible month. I really want to appreciate my guest. I believe Alvaro was the guest this month. Did Alvaro come through this month? I think Alvaro came through this month. And then we had Pastor White? Oh, man. Yeah, I think it was Pastor White came through this month. Of course, we had the Conscious Party, my man Wally B and JB up in here. And so it's been an incredible month of shows with guests, and this week, you know, got an opportunity just to kick it with you. So we just rapping. But right now, for the first time ever, I have an opportunity to just spend some time with you reading the Burning Spear newspaper. In the tradition of the Life Malcolm Show, we will read the first word. And y'all listen, get you something to write with, you know, get you get you something to write on, or if you type fast, take notes with your keyboard or your iPad. But you should lock this down, because people oftentimes say, like, why you use these words? When you use those words, the people don't understand. You lose the people, this and that. And a lot of I hear that. In my mind, that's those people who say those types of things attempting to project their own self-perceived limitations onto other African and colonized people who want to know, because I ain't no special kind of African. Anything and everything that I've done, you can do too. You can pronounce all these words. You can know all these words and use all these words just like me. Ain't nothing special about me. So let's go. African. The national identity of black people worldwide that make up the African nation. African, worldwide African nation. And that's important. Why is that important? Why is it important to know what African means, who Africans are? It's important, for example, in the practical world, for example, it's important because if all of us in the African nation understood that we are all Africans, no matter where we have been dispersed around the world by the colonizer, we would not look on the brutality, oppression that this country right here, this great American flag country right here, heaped on the heads of our sisters and brothers from Haiti who were in Texas. No, we wouldn't just stand by and watch it like we did. We would move like a nation that declares, touch one of us, you touch all of us. And we would make it very, very difficult for the United States government to do what they did to our brothers and sisters in Texas and sleep peacefully at night. No justice, no peace. That's the slogan, right? African internationalism. You might hear me talk often about African internationalism teaches me, and I'm an African internationalist. Well, what is African internationalism? African internationalism is the revolutionary scientific and materialist worldview and theory of the African working class. This theory recognizes that European wealth and African impoverishment occurred as a result of the European attack on Africa, the division of Africa, African slavery and dispersal, colonialism and neo-colonialism, and the imperialist created capitalist economic system. Now, all them words need to be broke down in there, right? We're going to get to them. I know you say, well, what those mean? We're going to get to them. But yeah, the main thing that you should walk away with from that definition is African internationalism is a revolutionary, scientific, and materialist worldview and the theory of the African working class. That's what you need to know. If you ain't talking African internationalism, you're probably talking colonizer talk. Black power. What is black power? Self-determination, political and economic power in the hands of the African working class. And, you say, well, why the African working class? Why the African working class? Well, I'm going to tell you in this next definition. The black petty bourgeoisie. Because, everything, every human in society, every intelligent human in society moves in their own selfish class interest. And so you might be familiar through your history books and the colonizers' education that you have the ruling class, the working class, the lower class. You even hear some of these terms used today. And then, those terms were assigned and ascribed to classes of people by Europeans. And while and they fit Europeans. Europeans can only be only Europeans who are in power can be the ruling class. And you have variations of the Europeans. Now you got all these Americans are, former Europeans, as you know, but not to get too far away from the definition. The point is, there are Africans who aspire to be like the ruling class. Instead of being working class and overturn, which we are, instead of working with the African working class and the African nation to become the new ruling class by overturning the parasitic social system of colonial capitalism and overthrowing I'm not saying overthrow no government. Don't DJ cut the music. Don't nobody say that. I said overthrowing colonizers who rule like dictators without regard for law, right? And establishing our own selves as rulers of our own lives and our own interests. We want to hook up with, and be like the ruling class, and we call these people the black petty bourgeoisie. A small, and it's not a whole lot of them. It's just the colonizer is good at putting them on TV and making them prominent, and so you think they're everywhere, but it's a small social force who politically and economically serve the white ruling class and are traitors to their people. They are a wishy-washy force steeped in liberalism. They are sellouts. They are the talented tenth about which W.E.B. Du Bois spoke. And I talked a little bit ago about this woman who on the one hand, the week before now, she was talking bad about the police. Police this, police that. Next week, we need the police. And so, the petty bourgeoisie, the black petty bourgeoisie, wishy-washy folk, they as a social force, they will always betray the African working class. Colonialism. What is colonialism? Colonialism is the foreign and alien domination of a people for the purpose of economic exploitation and political advantage, to strip a people of all human and civil rights and to rule without regard for law. Colonialism. And so if you have colonialism, you got to have colonized people, who are the people of the world whose self-determination, economic, and political power has been taken from them at gunpoint and now rest in the hands of foreign and alien powers for the purpose of economic exploitation and political advantage for the colonialists. Imagine that. So colonized people, that's us, that's you, especially if you look like me, that's you. And we are the people who have had our power, our economic and political power, and even our military power taken from us by gunpoint. At gunpoint, we didn't just give it up. We didn't just become poor. We come from the richest continent on earth in terms of natural resources. The continent that first brought human life to the world. Africa is friendly to life, not hostile to life. And somehow we, all around the world, you see us, we're the poorest, the sickest, the quickest to die, what have you, the most powerless. But that didn't happen as some kind of natural occurrence. That happened to us because the colonizer forced these conditions on us at gunpoint. And here it is, you have some chicken-eating Negroes who will beg the colonizer to bring their guns to the damn hood to keep us powerless, economically powerless, militarily powerless, and politically powerless at gunpoint. Colonized people. Feminism. A white nationalist bourgeois theory in which white women struggle to gain equal status in the capitalist colonialist system as white men. That's why you can see, the white women want to be the white police, want to be police like the white man. Every kind of form of oppression that the white man has done to African people, you find white women wanting to join that too. They want to join the Army and the Navy, the Air Force, and what have you, so they can go around the world and combat and engage in colonial terror in the name of feminism. And to be on the board of corporate exploiters, to serve in imperialist armed forces. See, I'm saying this stuff, not even real, but that's what it says right here in the definition. I told you, I'm African internationalist against the people of the world. That's what feminism does. And so, go ahead, caller. I'm gonna let you come on. I'm gonna let you come on, but I'm gonna hold your thought until we come back from break. We're about to go to break in 30 seconds. All right, caller?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, hold on. Hey, yo, so on that note, we got a caller. We're going to take the call when we come back on, and we're going to go through as many more of these words as we can. But, yeah, this is the Life Malcolm Show, y'all, and we are getting it in. That's what we're doing. We're getting it in. All right, we'll see you on the other side of the break.
Excuse me, but do this station keep you in touch?
A lot.
How do you like the music?
A lot.
Do they play your favorite songs?
A lot.
And in just 2 words, how do you like the station?
A lot.
There you have it, folks. The moral of the story is our listeners like us
A lot.
in touching you 24/7 on the World Wide Web. We're In Touch Radio.
Call in and tell a friend to listen in. Listen up. It's In Touch Radio, reality radio.
In Touch Radio.
This is Joel Sylvain,
And Kevin Carr.
and we're with Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives
Influencers.
share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Come join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Power Moves.
On In Touch Radio. See you nodding your head and tapping your feet. In Touch Radio, we'll be right back.
Y'all be playing some of the best music I ever heard.
With more of your OMG jams, we're In Touch Radio.
All right. Welcome back to In Touch News and the Life Malcolm Show. I'm your host, Life Malcolm. We've been going through some Uhuru buzzwords in the Burning Spear newspaper, and we're gonna pick up somewhere. I'm not sure if we're gonna pick up where we left off, but we're gonna pick up somewhere because I want to make sure I get to some of these words before we end this meeting. But right now we're gonna go to our caller. Caller, come in.
Well, Life, how you doing tonight?
I'm in the game, brother. How about yourself? Good to hear from you.
Well, I just wanted to say, if nobody has said it, there's no longer Brother Life Malcolm. It's Attorney Life Malcolm.
Right on.
And I just want you to know how proud we are of you. And don't you never forget that God saves his toughest battles for his strongest soldiers.
Right on.
And a lot of people are depending on you. And the best is yet to come. Because you've been through so much in life that a lot of people don't know about, sir. And as a young man, as an older man to a young man, age must be respected, but youth must be allowed to serve.
Right on.
And I know that you will serve that community down there with proper, strong representations for all of your clients. And that's something that we have lacked in that town for a long time, and a black attorney. And I just want to tell you that we're with you against anybody and everybody. And God is on our side, so we can't lose, my brother.
I appreciate those words. You know I do, man. It's always good to hear you call in to the Life Malcolm Show. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
God bless you, too. All right. I appreciate that call, man. Listen, you can call in, too. And you don't even have to be as nice as that caller was. You can say whatever you want to say. Hopefully you are as nice, but you can say whatever you want to say, man. Call in, 813-444-9588. All right, back to the Burning Spear buzzwords, or hoodoo buzzwords in the Burning Spear. So let's go with imperialism. What is imperialism? Imperialism is the worldwide system of brigandage by white Europeans who brought the entire non-white world under its rule as it created the parasitic capitalist economic world order. But check this out. Newsflash, y'all. Imperialism is in crisis. Imperialism is suffering because the colonized people who came under imperialist rule are now fighting back and reclaiming our resources. And I keep talking about that Texas thing, our brothers and sisters from Haiti. You know, these Africans and other people all around the world are crossing these illegitimate borders imposed on us by imperialists and colonizers in order to keep us separate, in order to keep us powerless, in order to keep us confused about our sameness, our oneness, our identity as a nation. We're starting to cross those borders, eliminate those borders, smash those borders, and come back for our resources. And imperialism is on its deathbed, y'all. It really is. And so that's good news. But back to the buzzwords. Neocolonialism. Neocolonialism. You heard that word raised up in the definition for African internationalism. We talked about neocolonialism. So here's the definition. The imperialist foreign domination of a people indirectly through control of the economy and social system using members of the dominated people as administrators. In short, neocolonialism is white power in blackface. DJ cut the music. Now we got to put a pin now. Because you remember when some of y'all got so excited about Barack Hussein Obama being the U.S. president, being the leader of the American flag, the lead representative of the American flag, being the lead white power in blackface man. Some of y'all were overjoyed. After the first 4 years, Barack Hussein Obama did nothing to change the material condition of the vast majority of Africans in the world, for the better at least. He dropped a whole lot of bombs on a whole lot of Africans and made things a whole lot worse, but did nothing, especially in this country, to make the material conditions for African people better, generally speaking, for most of us. And after the first 4 years, I heard Negroes say, well, you know, he can't just do whatever he want to do and can't do everything right away because, you know, he trying to run for another 4 years. And sure enough, the next 4 years came around and Africans in the same doggone conditions, if not worse, before the neo-colonialist representative got in the house. And I know some of y'all don't like it, but it's true. Show me it's not. Show me it's not. Show me how when Obama got in office, somehow black people took power. No, it was just white power in blackface. That's why it don't matter if the black cop is the police chief. Look at Gregory Tony down in Broward County. This the Negro sheriff. Every time a Negro, I can't tell you how many times, how many stories I've heard of Africans going to Broward County or being in Broward County sheriff's custody and ended up dead. Some oftentimes mentally, some Africans they claim have mental conditions and other sort of problems that merit them being treated gingerly, or at least with some kind of extra care, right? Extra care, but they end up being killed or something like that in this Negro sheriff's control. We can go way back to when they dropped the bomb, when the American government dropped the bomb on the Move House in, what was that, 1980 or 85? I can't recall. You know what I'm talking about, though. Sometimes they done so much stuff to us, I can't keep the years straight sometimes. But back then in Philadelphia, you know who the mayor was? A Negro named Wilson Good. So it don't matter. The only time is, well, anyway, let me get back to these words. Parasitic capitalism, a phrase coined by the African People's Socialist Party that defines the capitalist economy. Let me back that up. Parasitic capitalism, a phrase coined by the African People's Socialist Party that defines the capitalist economic social system as parasitic from its inception. Capitalism, like all parasites, must have a host to sustain itself. Africa and Africans have been capitalism's host since capitalism's birth. And that's why no matter how hard you work, night and day, got me working day and night, work. And the American government steady getting fatter, steady getting richer, steady getting bigger, and you still skinny, still poor, because you working for somebody else's interests and not your own. How many times the mayor tell you they don't have enough money for your recreational purposes, for your educational purposes, for your economic development purposes, but everywhere you go is a new building popping up, huh? The police got new toys, huh? Yeah. You offer your labor, offer your work, offer the production, offer your production, offer your labor. The government, the state, the parasite gets bigger, and you stay skinny and sometimes weak. That's why you got to organize, hook up, and take some medicine that gets rid of the parasite. And what's the name of that medicine? Glad you asked. Name of the parasite medicine is revolution. Revolution. Oh, that's a beautiful word, ain't it? Revolution. Well, you say, Brother Malcolm, Attorney Malcolm, as Carla said, we must say now and then. Well, what is revolution? Revolution is the act of destroying capitalist state power and replacing it with a black workers' state power. The revolution is led by a party comprised of the masses in arms under revolutionary theory in order to seize power in the name of the African working class. Yeah, revolution. And so if you're going to have a revolution, guess what you need? You just can't. Well, I guess these days, I was going to say you just can't go get a prescription. But, hell, these days, but you shouldn't take it, though, because you see a lot of us coming up in bad shape just taking stuff off the street. So stop doing that. But if you want to make sure you get some good medicine, you got to go see a good doctor, get you the good medicine. And so if you want a revolution, it's only one way to get a revolution. You got to have a revolutionary. And a revolutionary is one who carries out the organizational work of the revolution that will culminate in the total destruction of the capitalist, colonialist, economic world order replaced by black workers' state power. All right. It's enough of that right there. We leave it there. Now, just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with throwing out the bad and ushering in the good. When we talk about revolution, that's the, for those of you who love America, revolution is the American way. How else did America come to be if it wasn't for revolution? Something like no representation without taxation. You remember? You've heard it in your books, in your classes. No taxation without representation was a reason to overturn that foul social system. There's this one guy, he said, named Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death." And like our dear brother Malcolm X said, we done caught more hell than old Pat ever caught right here in this country. And so just look at the material world. You got, even the environment is upset with colonial capitalism. You got more storms. And they talk about, listen, my man, my partner Walter Smith II, he could tell you about all these environmental conditions. I just know it's messed up. I don't know all the breakdown, but I know you got stuff getting hot where it's not supposed to get. I heard of a hurricane. This for the first time in my 46 years in my life. I heard of a hurricane in New York this year. What? What? A hurricane in New York. Now I'm not saying that that's unusual. It's unusual to me. I never heard of that. And just 80% of the people in the world live on $2 or less a day or something like that. African people in the world struggle. African people on the continent struggle maybe just to get $1, lucky to get just $1 a day, not because of some worldwide social system of socialism, not because of a worldwide social system of communism. No. People, the environment, people, the dirty water, people's poverty, the homelessness, the oppression, the police containment, all this stuff, the bombing, the 700 or so military installations around the world, all this stuff is a consequence, product of colonial capitalist, a colonial capitalist worldwide social system. So, hope tonight has been fruitful for you. Know we did some reading. Hopefully y'all did some writing. And we're going to talk again because that ain't all the buzzwords. And, yeah. So, it's been a Life Malcolm show right here on In Touch News where everybody is a star. The biggest star is you. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the callers calling in. One time for my man Bezel holding it down. And we're going to see you next week. All right, y'all. To be continued.